Hello everyone, I'm Rabbitearsblog and welcome to my random comic book review series, or my random review series, whichever topic I discuss. Today's comic I'm going to review is the classic Batman comic by Alan Moore, Batman the Killing Joke. Now I will admit that I have never heard of this story until I have seen so many good reviews on this comic, so I decided to give this comic a shot and I was really blown away by the whole concept of the story. So before I get into my thoughts on this comic, I would like to give out a brief summary on this comic. The comic starts off with Batman going to Arkham Asylum to visit the Joker, and when Batman realizes too late that the Joker has escaped from the asylum, he desperately tries to search for the Joker. Unfortunately, Batman also realizes that the Joker is planning on going after Commissioner Gordon and his daughter Barbara in order to prove a fatal point that could affect Batman's life forever. It's rare that we see a superhero comic book that mainly focuses on the relationship between a hero and the villain, rather than focusing on their big fight with each other, and because of that concept rarely being used to its full extent, Batman the Killing Joke was definitely the comic that really defined that concept in a brilliant and intense way. Alan Moore had done a brilliant job at writing this story, and even though this comic is only about 46 pages long, which is pretty short for a comic book that has a major arc, there were many life-changing situations in the story that really changed the lives of the Batman characters to huge levels. For one thing, this story was praised for being the best Joker origin story ever told, and I strongly agree with that. It was interesting seeing how the Joker wasn't always the villain he is known as today, but actually started out as a struggling comedian who was trying to make money for his family, and that really added a lot of depth to the Joker's character. In this story, the Joker's torturing innocent citizens like usual, but this time he does so to prove a point to Batman about how one tragic day can make a person go insane. And I love the way that his origin story just ties into the current arc with him torturing Barbara Gordon and Commissioner Gordon, as it reinforces his reasons for doing his horrific acts towards the Gordon family. Another positive aspect about Alan Moore's writing was how he portrayed the relationship between Batman and the Joker. Now, I have mentioned that it's rare that we see a superhero comic book focus more time on the relationship between the hero and the villain, but Alan Moore really expanded this relationship to its full potential, as Batman is shown sympathizing with the Joker's insanity, and throughout the book he tries to reason with the Joker to get some help for his insanity, which shows great growth in Batman's character. Sure, Batman and Joker do fight each other in the story, but that wasn't the focus of the story. The focus of the story was on the Joker's origin tale and how the Joker's past shaped the Joker to the criminal he is known as today. I really like the way that Batman and the Joker were somehow connected in the story, as they both lost someone dear to them. Batman lost his parents and the Joker loses his wife, but they both took different paths after the tragic event happened in their lives. Batman became the Caped Crusader who swore to protect the people of Gotham City, while the Joker became Gotham City's most dangerous criminal mastermind. And it was interesting in how Alan Moore connected those two backstories of the characters and allows us to see what they have become in the future. I also like the way that the Joker views life as being a big joke, as he suffered a tragic event in his life and it changed him literally into an insane person. Brian Boland's artwork was just as astonishing in this comic as the artwork was done in bright colors and the characters were drawn so realistically. What I really enjoy about Brian Boland's work in this comic was how he did the cover of this story. I just love the cover for this comic, as it shows the Joker taking a picture and telling the audience to smile, as it leaves a huge impact on the audience about how that image tells so much about the story. I love the way that Brian Boland made the Joker look extremely insane, as he always has a deranged smile on his face, and the way that the Joker's teeth look slightly yellow, and how his face is pale white, just makes the Joker look like a truly intimidating character. Now, there are some things in this comic that I should warn about anybody who is thinking about picking this comic up. This comic is much darker than the average Batman story, as there were scenes where both Barbara Gordon and Commissioner Gordon were tortured by the Joker. One scene in particular that was deeply disturbing was the scene where Barbara Gordon is shot, as that was much unexpected, and this was the scene that shocked many fans. The rating for Batman the Killing Joke was suggested as aimed at mature readers, which is reasonable since there are many disturbing scenes in this comic, such as the torture of Barbara Gordon and Commissioner James Gordon. Overall, I give Batman the Killing Joke a high 5 out of 5. This story truly deserved all the praise it got from the comic book fans, as it pushed the boundaries of storytelling in comic books by taking on a more psychological approach to the characters and seeing their viewpoints on life itself, which was a mesmerizing experience for me. This story also made me really respect the relationship shared between Batman and the Joker, and would continue to be one of my most favorite Batman stories of all time. Spoiler alert! If you haven't read this comic yet, you might want to read this comic before viewing this section. However, if you have read this comic or you want to see how I feel about these particular scenes, keep watching. The ending of this comic where the Joker tells Batman a joke and the both of them end up laughing while the final scene has Batman grabbing at the Joker has caused a lot of controversy with the fans. Other than the fact that this story ended on an abrupt note, you have to wonder about why is Batman laughing with the Joker when the Joker had just tortured his closest friends Barbara Gordon and Commissioner Gordon. This is how I took the scene. I think that Batman wasn't really laughing with the Joker and was more like sympathizing with the Joker's insanity, since throughout the story, Batman wanted to help the Joker get help. At least that's how I saw this scene. Now, this scene can be looked at in many different ways, and there might be more to this ending that I'm probably not really seeing all the way through. So, what do you think about the ending of this comic? Do you think that it was the worst ending for this type of story? Or do you think that there was a deeper meaning to the ending than what we saw? Please feel free to comment below. Well, that's my review on the classic graphic novel Batman the Killing Joke. And be sure to check out more reviews from my random review series. See you later!